శ్రీవాసరంగపరకాలమునిత్రయాప్తలక్ష్మాత్మరక్షణైతేత్యుగాగమాంతం ఆచార్యభక్తిపరిపూతమలర్గశీలం గోపాలదేశికమునిం గురుమాశ్రయామః. యో నిత్యమచ్యుతపదాంబుజయుగ్మరుక్మవ్యామోగదసరిధరాణి తృణాయమేనే అస్మద్గురోర్భగవతోస్య దయైకసిन्धोः రామానుజస్య శరణౌ శరణం ప్రపద్యే. ప్రణామం లక్ష్మణముని ప్రతిగృహ్ణాతు మామకం ప్రసాదయతి యత్సూక్తిః స్వాధీన పతికాం శృతిం. Such a wonderful title. It is entrusted on audience shoulders. Drama, Srirangam, a drama staging. So, Rangam itself is called stage. So, this is a divine stage on which the Divya Dampati play a most beautiful performance. They are most wonderful actors, both of them. So Swami Vedanta Desika starts off his Dashavatara Stotram. Devona Shubhamata Notu Dashadha Nirvartayan Bhumikam Ranghe Dhamani Labda Nirbhara Rasaihi Adhyakshito Bhavukaihi Yadbhaveshu Pratakviteshvanugunan Bhavan Swayam Vibrati Yadharmairiga Dharmini Viharate Nana Kritir Naika. So both of them perform most wonderful divine leelas in terms of acting. Both of them perform such a great performance that they prove that they are the best actors in the world, in the universe, in both Vibhutis, Leela Vibhuti as well as the Nitya Vibhuti. So here, even Swami Desikan mentions that in Bhagavad Dhyana Sopanam, Drishyate Ranga Madhye, I see with my naked eye in the middle of the stage Ranganathan. So he is there performing most wonderful roles. Swami Ramanuja also mentions Akila Bhumana Janmastema Bangadi Leele Vinata Vivida Bhuta Vrata Rakshaika Dikshe. He performs so much leelas, the divine sport. So, why does he perform all these things? For giving us Mangala, in order to grant us the most auspiciousness. Perumal's Rupam, Perumal's Bhavam, for every avataram it will change, but it is all enacted, scripted so beautifully by both of them. Whenever he takes the role, his Sagadharmini, Mahalakshmi, also takes the role. Vishnor Dehanurupam Vai Karodhyeshatmanastanum, Vishnu Puranam says. Perumal Ramanaga Vandal, she comes as Sita. Krishna means she comes as Rukmini. Vamana, he comes inside the divine chest, hidden by the deer skin, even when he comes as Brahmachari. In every avataram, he enjoys taking the avataram. It is because it is for Jagat Rakshanam. It is to destroy the evil and to Paritranaya Sadhuna Vinashaya Cha Dushkritam Dharma Samsthapanarthaya Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. I take birth again and again in order to save the sadhus and in order to show the darshanam to sadhus. And it takes this avataram. These avatarams are not just Vibhava avataram, also the Archa avataram. He takes such wonderful avatarams that even when Shakespeare says all the world's a stage and we are all actors, here he is the very great actor acting his beautiful role in a wonderful fashion. And Swami, whenever we take such acting, he also has his other people performing the other auxiliary roles. So he sends his Nitya Suris, he sends his Abharanams, Amshams, Vanamala to perform these roles as Alvars, Acharyas. And they also perform their roles. Bhuma Devi came in as Andal, Goda Pirati. Here Vedanta Desika writes in Gadya Bhashyam, Lakshmi Pater Yatipadesh Chadayai Kadam Noho Yosau Pura Samajanishta Jagattitartam Prachyam Prakashayatanah Paramam Ragasyam Samvadayesha Sharanagati Mantrasaraha. Here we just witnessed the most wonderful Panguni Uttara Utsavam, where another acting from goddess Mahalakshmi and Perumal. So he goes to his devotee, Varayur Nachiyar, comes back, and then she closes the door. Then they majestically are placed in one platform, and Serti Sevai is enjoyed by the whole world so nicely. Thanks to the modern digital information, the whole world is able to enjoy then and there. Now, Lakshmi Pater Yatipadescha Dayaika Dhamnoho, Vedanta Desika writes that whenever two people have a conversation, and a healthy conversation, and a beautiful conversation, a beneficial conversation for the mankind, it has to be by equal levels. Here we have Lakshmi Pati, Shriyapati, Sriman Narayanan, Ranganathan, who shows majestically standing next to Pirati, Periya Pirati, Ranganayaki. And such a wonderful scene, Ramanuja is there witnessing the most glorious event, Panguni Uttaram, the Serti Sevai. And he does not lose this opportunity to perform his Sharanagati and bursts out with Gadyatrayam. Sharanagati Gadyam, Sriranga Gadyam, Vaikunta Gadyam. And Swami Desikan mentions this wonderful scene as one stage in which Lakshmi Pati is on one side, Yatipati is on the other side. Both of them are equally grand and majestic in their appearance. And Swami Emperumanar had already undergone all these process with Periyanambi, with Trikoshtiyo Nambi, knowing the Dvaya Mantram, undergoing Pancha Samskaram. So all these must have been performed before. Here, for the sake of the community, the world, the Sri Vaishnavas all over the world, he enacts the Sharanagati Gadyam here because of his compassion on us. Because they are Vanga Kudal Niraikum Vallal Perum Pashikkal, the Acharya. Here, Lakshmi Pater Yatipadescha Dayaika Dhamnoho. Both of them, he is a Dayaika Sindhoho, Ramanuja. Daya, ocean of Daya. And the other side, we have Paramadayalu, Karuna Nidhi, Daya Sagaran, Shriyapati Sriman Narayanan. And we have Periya Pirati Mahalakshmi, who does not know what is Nigraham. Anugraha Mayim Vande Nityam Ajnata Nigraham. She does not know at all what is punishment. And here, they are having the conversation. So, both of them are equal in all aspects. Now, I am reminded of Hanuman meeting Rama Lakshmana when they met first. So, Rama and Lakshmana were searching for Sita and they were coming near Rishyamukha Parvatam, where Sugriva saw from a distance two people, two human beings, two men walking towards him. So, he was worried whether Vali had sent two people to attack him, attack Sugriva. So he sent his minister Anjaneya to inquire who are they. So Anjaneya came in the guise of a Brahmin and he spoke to Rama and Lakshmana, and the way he spoke, the way he uttered, the way he narrated was so wonderful, was so sweet. Rama lost himself in admiring Hanuman's words, Hanuman's Vakchaturyam, is because he is a Vyakarana Panditan, Hanuman. So he was so mesmerized by Hanuman's way of narrating, he asked Lakshmana to respond to Hanuman's questions. Why did he not respond? Maybe I was thinking that it could be that Hanuman is a minister from Sugriva. So I have to let my deputy talk to Hanuman. Because when the external affairs minister comes from one country, the external affairs minister from the our country will talk. So it should be the same level who needs to talk. So perhaps because of that, Rama had asked Lakshmana to talk. Here, the commentators say it's not that. Lakshmana, the Adisheshan himself, is the one who blessed us with Vyakarana Sastrams. He was a great Vyakarana Pandita, Adisheshan. So both of them are equal in their aspects, in their capability in Vyakaranam. Hence, they both are matching and hence they need to talk to each other. That was the reason why Perumal asked Lakshmana to respond. Here, Lakshmipati and Yatipati are talking. It is such a wonderful conversation, and this conversation is like a multimedia extravaganza that we need to visualize when we recite the Sharanagati Gadyam. It is a conversation so beautifully giving an assuaging assurance to each one of us that Perumal is there to accept our Sharanagati regardless of how it is performed. He says, you just uttered Dvaya Mantra. That itself is enough. So, and this particular thing is Paramam Ragasyam. It is to be considered secret and sacred. It should not be thrown open to the public who is not looking for this Sharanagati Ragasyam. Samvada Yesha Sharanagati Mantra Saraha. This Sharanagati Mantra Saram is this Samvadam between Namperumal and our Ramanuja. He performs the Sharanagati to Periya Pirati Ranganayaki, and he wants her to mediate and give as a mediatrix the Purushakaram, the recommendation for our case to Perumal. And even Nammal, let's go back. Why Sharanagati? Why not Bhakti Yoga? Why not Yoga? Why not uninterrupted continuous contemplation of Perumal like an oil flowing, and that itself is Parama Bhogyam? Why can't we do that? For that, we need to have a continuous remembrance and contemplation without any interruption, without any distraction, diversion, and we should be qualified and we should be performing the Nitya Karma Anushtanams. We should be born in those varnams, and we should not afford to wait for few more births. So all these things necessitate us to perform the Sharanagati. Also, we need to thank our Thiruvananthapuram Ananta Padmanabha Perumal for blessing us with Sharanagati Mantra. You may wonder why Thiruvananthapuram. Because when Sriman Nathamuni, who himself was an exponent of Yoga Sastra, he was a great yogi, even though he had performed Sharanagati because he did not want a delay in attaining Acharyan Trivadi. He was enjoying with his yoga, with his Bhakti Yoga, with his contemplation. So he blessed us, the Sishyas, with Yogam. And there was one of his Shishya by name Tirukkurugai Kavalappan. And this Tirukkurugai Kavalappan was taught by Sriman Nathamuni this Yoga Ragasyam. And Tirukkurugai Kavalappan used to meditate on Perumal facing the wall, and he used to close his eye and enjoy Perumal's Divya Darshan in front of him. And Kannan used to sit in front of Tirukkurugai Kavalappan and enjoy looking at Tirukkurugai Kavalappan's contemplation of his form. So both of them enjoyed each other, Tirukkurugai Kavalappan and Kannan. When Alavandar, Sriman Nathamuni's grandson, when he heard of Tirukkurugai Kavalappan and the way he was taught by Sriman Nathamuni, the Yoga Ragasyam, he wanted to go to Tirukkurugai Kavalappan and learn this Yoga Ragasyam. So he went to Tirukkurugai Kavalappan's ashram, and he was standing behind Tirukkurugai Kavalappan because Tirukkurugai Kavalappan was facing the wall, enjoying the most beautiful form of Krishna when he was doing this meditation. And Krishna, what he did, he pushed Tirukkurugai Kavalappan's shoulder down to see Alavandar, because he wanted to see Alavandar. Alavandar's form was actually hidden by Tirukkurugai Kavalappan's shariram, and hence he pushed him aside to see Yamunacharya. So immediately Tirukkurugai Kavalappan asked behind, is there anyone from Shottai Kulam here? Shottai means Shadamarshana Gotram, the Shadamarshana Kulam. So from Sriman Nathamuni's Kulam, is there anyone here? So Alavandar said, Adiyan. But how did you know that I have come? because you were facing the other direction. How did you know that I am here? He said, Kannan, whom I was contemplating and who was looking at me, enjoying his form, divine form, he pushed me aside and wanted to see you. And he can do that only for Sriman Nathamuni's family. Sriman Nathamuni and his family are blessed with that special privilege from Krishna. They are so blessed, and hence it is my bhagyam that you have come here, he told Alavandar. Alavandar sevichified, prostrated at the feet of Tirukkurugai Kavalappan and requested him to teach this Yoga Ragasyam to Alavandar. Tirukkurugai Kavalappan said, I would teach you on one particular day. I think it is Thai Pusham or sometime. So come here to Thiruvananthapuram on that day, I would teach you. So Alavandar took leave after sevichifying, prostrating. He went back. And days passed, months passed. There was this Rapattu, Pagalpattu in Srirangam. There is an Arayar Sevai. And in Arayar Sevai, they were enjoying the Thiruvaimozhi. Arayar said, Kedum Idarayavellam Keshavayana Nadum Kodivinai Seyyum Kootrina Tamargalum Kurugahillar Vidamudai Aravil Palli Virumbinan Churumbalatrum Tadamudai Vayal Anantapura Pugudum Mindre. And they were narrating so beautifully these Thiruvananthapuram Pasurams of Nammalvar Thiruvaimozhi. Kadivinai Alayalahum Kamanai Payandakalai Idavagai Kondadhenbar Yelilani Anantapuram Padamudai Aravil Palli Payindravan Padam Kana Nadamino Namargalullir Nam Umakkariya Chonnom. Arayar looked at Alavandar, who was enjoying this Arayar Sevai. And this Arayar looked at Alavandar and said, Nadamino Namargalullir, go walk towards Anantapuram. Nam Umakkariya Chonnom. I am telling you, go walk towards Anantapuram. Nam Umakkariya Chonna Nalgalum Naniyavana. Shemam Nangudaitik Kandir Sherpudil Anantapuram. So when he said that, when he went to the next Pasuram, Alavandar was not there because he suddenly remembered that he had to go to Thiruvananthapuram. So he went immediately as ordained, instructed by Nammalvar through this Arayar, went to Thiruvananthapuram and went to Tirukkurugai Kavalappan. And by the time he reached, Tirukkurugai Kavalappan had already attained Acharyan Trivadi. He departed. So Alavandar was terribly grief-struck that he is not able to enjoy or learn this Yoga Ragasyam from Tirukkurugai Kavalappan. It is our bhagyam that Alavandar was not taught. Otherwise, Adiyan also would have told, I would also learn Yoga Ragasyam. Everybody, every Tom, Dick and Harry would start learning Yoga Ragasyam as if we are capable. And we would say, like now people ask, every Iyengar would ask the other person, Ninga Madama Munitrema. They will ask, Ninga Yogama Sharanagatiya, we would have asked. And they would also say, Nangalla Yoga, Ningala Sharanagati. So, as with the false pride and arrogance, it is great bhagyam that we are blessed with the wonderful mode of prapatti, which was established by our acharyas in a concrete laid track, which we need to adopt and take up through our Sharanagati. So Ramanuja has so nicely explained this Sharanagati in a very beautiful form, in a dramatical fashion. So Lakshmipatir Yadipavescha Dayaika Damno, both these wonderful Lakshmipati and Yadipati enacted this Sharanagati drama. Satyakama, Satyashankalpa, Parabrahmabhuta, Purushottama, Mahavibhute, Sriman Narayana, Vaikunthanata, Apara Karunya, Sausilya, Vatsalya, Audharya, Aishwarya, Saundarya, Mahodate, Analochita, Vishesha, Sheshaloka, Sharanya, Pranatartihara, Ashrita, Vatsalyaika Jalade, Anavarata Vidya Nikala Bhuta Jata Yathatmya, Asesha Charachara Bhuta Nikala Niyamana Niradha, Asesha Chita Chit Vastu Seshi Bhuta, Nikala Jagadadara, Akila Jagat Swamin, Asmat Swamin, Satyakama, Satyashankalpa, Sagaletara Vilakshana, Artikalpaka, Apatsaka Sriman Narayana Asharanya Sharanya Ananyascharanatvat Padara Vindayugalam Sharanamaham Prapadye. He performs his Sharanagati so nicely. The way your will, your sankalpam fulfilled all these things. Your command is carried out here. You are the Parabrahman. With might, with wealth, you are the consort, you are Sriyapati. Narayana, you are the Lord of Vaikuntha, you are the ocean filled with such great Kalyana Gunams, easily accessible. And no way you will ignore me. You will take me to your abode. And Perumal responds. That's the beauty here. Even though you have performed so many aparadams, apacharams, even though Ramanuja did not, he spoke on our behalf, and Ranganathan responds on our behalf, that as if he is assuring us. And he says, Dvayam artha anusandhanene saga sadaivam bhakta yavat charirapadam atraiva srirange sukamasva. And thus you are relieved and you are not troubled by the obstructions of the least degree anymore, which is the cause of the divine grief, divine sorrow, samsara sagaram, always uttering Dvaya mantram with the full understanding of its meaning, of its significance. You shall reside in Srirangam till this body falls to the ground. Atraiva Srirange Sukhamasva. You will, by my daya, by my grace alone, attain true knowledge, right jnanam, with no diminution nor diminishing of your capacity, and shaking off all the mortal coil, both physical, both sukshmam and sthulam. You will at once attain the constant, eternal performing Kaikaryam at my feet in Sri Vaikuntham. Here, so beautifully, the drama is enacted, and then Sriranga Gadyam is narrated, and of course, above all, the most majestic Vaikuntha Gadyam is also narrated by Swami Emperumanar, Sri Bhashyakara, and all for our benefit. Kavitarkika Simhaya Kalyana Gunashaline Srimate Venkateshaya Vedanta Gurave Namaha. Dhanyosmi for the opportunity. Adiyan.